And this is it in a nutcake, right? Huns from Denal Talks are the epitome of this, right? They just want to goad you. They want to, hopefully, pretend successfully, right, to leave you with a goading, right? Even though it's self-destruction, they're so stupid, like all psychopaths, it's self-destruction. So, as I said on YouTube a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago, you know, that this is what they are. They could get a taxi to the finish line of a marathon and celebrate wildly as they breast the tape in first place. The next thing, they're relegated fucking 4 divisions, you know, out of the Premier Division at football and put into the fucking lowest one you can be put into, because they're morons, right? All that was just to goad their genetic superior, whom they feel existential jealousy towards, because you're born with a brain with meaning, reason, you know, a conscience, and the capacity for core confidence and seeing other people as human beings, whereas Jeffrey Dahmer would have drilled a hole through your head, and because you're just an object he wants to have near him to help him with some emotional issues he has. Stands to reason, doesn't it? You know, in the primitive, blunt way they go about things, behind which they actually see themselves as being great people. Even as they're drilling a fucking hole through your head, and in the cupboard they've got an altar made of bones from the previous people that drilled holes through the head, and those people unsurprisingly died after they poured acid through it, because in his primitive way he realised, if I make them more like me, perhaps they'll stay, right? Stands to reason, doesn't it? They're irrational. And the point being, you've been ingrained to be like that. You know, you've been ingrained to try and damage the prefrontal cortex nerves. What is the difference between Jeffrey Dahmer drilling through somebody's head and a shrill bitch going, what's that in there? What's that in there? Right? Females, I've met them right across the board, right? Going from that kind of shrill imbecile to the bogus accusatorial one, right through to the na, you know, the kind of Chinese jabbering, spinning straw fucking hat lunatic, you know. They're happy to see shot in a fucking Vietnamese war movie. But I'm pointing out that in reality, that's the exact same as Dahmer drilling through your prefrontal cortex to try and lobotomise you. Yeah? You know, and when that breaks down, they see themselves as being energy vampires. That's why St. Bram Stoker referred to them as being vampires, sucking blood. When that breaks down, the lunatic in its autistic perception of reality, the sex offender, sees you not as happy. It's robbed you of your smile, and that's the way it gauges its success, its pseudo-success, and sees you not as capable as much of what you were doing before, which it was existentially jealous of. You're having a life worth living. So it's robbed you of the life you were living and your happiness, and it's made you mentally break down, a nervous breakdown, and left you with all these kind of traumas relating to memories you've stored a depth of emotion with in your amygdaloid cortex. And this loops round and can keep you in a hyper state of fight or flight, which can lead to hallucination, and then they will bogusly accuse you again of whatever your ancestors are telling you to do. Your ancestors are speaking to you from beyond the grave, and this is what they're hell-bent on programming. So it's so hard for them. They can ingrain your pathology, but they can't ingrain your amygdala, which is why they're so hell-bent on targeting it, even putting a drill through your head to get to it, right? What they're trying to do is genetically engineer your amygdala so it's pre-programmed, right? So when you're saying, fuck them, Momo just eat these crisps made of lies on, what's in the crisps, right? You can already see it in lab tests, right? They give these fucking things that you're consuming, these drugs you're consuming, unnaturally self-destructive because of the nerves in your own brain that's breaking down because of your desire to become rage, your lust after power and dominance, because behind it you're desperate and lonely and sad and miserable. and you want to pretend somebody else is to blame. You're channeling the law of morality backwards in your life. You're fucking your arse out the window, right? And what I'm saying is, you eat their shit, you take their shit, you're inhaling their nuclear radiation, the nanoparticles of aluminium they're dropping on your fucking head. Strontium, think about the hypocrisy of Jews dropping strontium on you, right? And it's happening constantly, and they're sitting in fucking nuclear bunkers under the ground, masturbating, surrounded by the bones of fucking children. Think Jeffrey Dahmer again, right? And in a nutcake, the lab tests they've done on animals that can procreate quickly, I don't mean fucking quickly, I mean like create new generations reasonably quickly so they can examine the result of what you're consuming routinely. They have offspring who are turned inside out, right? So your fucking grandkids are going to have hairy tongues and bald fucking heads and teeth coming out their fucking forehead. Hey, granny, right? Basically, because they ingrained you at primary concentration campus to fucking hate men, hate your fellow man, whether you're male or female.
There's no need to shout, you've hurt my bum monkey.
Fuck your bum monkey. What I'm saying to you is this. Get angry. Grow your fucking arse hair. There's no need to take fucking psychotic fucking drugs which destroy your brain. Get some fucking sharp knives. Go to where these fucking outpatients from the shut asylums are and fucking stab them to death. That work for you? Right? I own the most beautiful farm in the whole of fucking Laggytrop. Those pieces of fucking shit can have me sectioned or imprisoned or done in with one fucking tick of a box. Next thing, 2 fucking stuffed shops out of Greg's come fucking looking for me. 2 sex molesters, 2 fucking lunatics. I'll be waiting for them with 2 silver-plated fucking shotguns. Yeah. Right. Right. Then what happens next? We're all pretending along, as I'll be exposing in Erol and the police farce, that a fucking ring of sex offenders pretending to be police, a police farce, wearing binary jumpsuits and clown shoes from 666 Lesbian Avenue in their fucking noddy cars, playing pretend heroes when they're fucking sex offenders. Show up, and then Jesus gets nailed to a fucking tree again. Hence is Jesus, he has gone the mentalist. Right, the thing is this, right? Every time a fucking Living+Christ comes along, Martin Luther King, I have a dream that little white girls and little black girls will come to my trailer after the march. But at least there wasn't a million people march, right? Too dangerous for them, let's do them in. Jesus got a fucking 5,000 people and performed a miracle for them. Gave them all a fish supper. In the fucking Stone Age, you know. Cunts are fucking nailing him to a tree, and Pontius Pilate washed his hands off it. It's all on those fucking Jew bastards, he said. Right? That's what INRI stands for. I'm not responsible, idiots. Right? Basically, it's the fucking Zionist Jews that Jesus booted up in the fucking air, right? For usury, because of this desperation to draw you down to the microdot into the fucking tube, to delude themselves that a fucking prawn cocktail is better to inherit than a fucking Christ's brain. So nail Jesus to a fucking tree and let's just keep making up imaginary rules of a game called self-destruction amongst others, while they're fucking wanking into the mouths of dying children, they're dismembering, like pulling the legs off spiders with their fucking handicapped, immoral, diseased brains, right? Breaking down, turning into what they truly are due to inbreeding, right? They are fucking ancient, long dead pharaohs' fuck toys. That is what they are. Mummy's favourites, right? They inherited this pyramid obsession from the pyramids who raped them routinely, and then fucking Moses, as I covered in another stand-up, helped them escape, which is lampooned in the famous movie, The Fearless Vampire Hunters. At the end, spoiler, they take the vampire with them and proliferate it throughout Europe, and that's what Moses innocently did. He took the problem and proliferated it throughout the entire world. Yeah. And like I say, as you can see in America right now, they're pulling down the curtains when you're trying to take the 3-year-old and send it to bed, you know, it's pulling down the curtains, it's shitting down the hall, it's screaming its head off, it's knocking over the sideboard, it's, you know, it's doing everything it can to destroy and leave a huge mess. And so there you are, ringed with your sex offenders and all your lunatics, man. All your outpatients have all your jobs, just like Stalin and Hitler did, and that worked out brilliantly, didn't it? I'm talking to the ghosts of Dresden! Yeah, I'm talking to the ghosts of Nagasaki, the ghosts of Hiroshima, from 20,000 years in the future, trying to explain to you. You're channeling not only the law of the universe backwards into your arse, you know what I mean, out the window. You're doing the exact opposite of what your ancestors did with their lives. You know, you're living unnaturally and unsurprisingly. You are dying in your droves, you're killing each other and dying in your droves. And until you wake up to that fact, until you wake up to the moral law of the universe, like Newton explained to you what gravity was. Before that you thought the world was flat and that you had no concept of gravity. Now I'm teaching you that morality exists and it can channel miracles into your life. A life worth having, a life you don't have to lie about. And men and women were made for each other. It's amazing, isn't it? A beaver was made for a tree, you know, but they're not equal. That's insanity. You damn all your dreams if you fall for what these imbeciles keep making up as they go along. And as I say in another video, look, they're just over there. Imagine you'd a wank-clawed, homosexual, psychopathic paedophile in your living room, sitting cross-legged with a shit fountain. Over there in your living room. Right? And it pours a constant stream of shite. And you're taking each pebble out of that shit and examining it and going, oh no, that isn't anything to do with me. That smell's no coming from me, that's to do with that shit. You know, and you're dealing with each individual pebble of shit and going through all the different layers that you think you have to serve yourself to, submit to, allow yourself to be subjected to and subjugated by. Right? It's all pish, right? As I cover on Erol On Law, right? To come. It's all crap, yeah, quite literally, physically. Go to where the shit fountain monkey is and fucking plug it at source, right? Rather than deal with each pebble shit, you know, that takes you fucking 10 years to go through an imaginary kangaroo, basically, where they hop to their pretend judgment, their preordained crap, that's dictated by that spastic-brained reptile with a fucking cocktail stick in its fucking brain, right? What I'm pointing out to you is, stop letting them continue to flood your life with their toxic shite, yeah? Go to where they are and fucking kill them. If you don't trust what I'm saying, it must be because you're not trustworthy. Yeah? You're risking fuck all. Right? What have you got to lose? Sitting in a dark living room in a corner on those unenviable nights that I don't know. But you have. I'll never know them. Every person I know was a really bad person, told me they have these dark nights within the corner of one of the rooms crying, knowing they're 100% to blame. And they can't deny it. And they know eternity awaits you. And this is really important, and they don't drum this into your head. What you do can never be undone. Ever. Ever. It's for eternity that's been done. Here's a gift, right? There's no example of nothing anywhere. Right? Ever. No example of nothing anywhere. Right? Right? By definition it can't exist. Therefore, what you are has always been. You have an eternal soul, eternal awareness, whether it be in a mouse or whether it be in a human being or Living+Christ. So here's the thing, right? Your next generation, you know, your next mortal coil for that is eternal. And I tell you, just like the ancient pharaohs had, you know, the dog-head god that weighs your heart against a feather. Yeah. I mean, you get to that event horizon, you're going to sink like a fucking rock straight into hell. You know, a hell you can't imagine, but it's for eternity. Yeah. And it's the definition of the word sin means to be separated from. I know where I'm going. Have unmistakable proof. You know, you might believe in one religion. I believe in the moral law of the universe. Have all faith in the moral law of the universe, just like I have in gravity. You know, for example, if I go like this, oh no, eventually, if I keep going on like that for a few days, I'll fall over, or perhaps not, because I am, after all, phenomenal. Right, so I guess that's right. Pathology. It's ingrained into your brain. Can you ingrain new pathology? You can, right? Marijuana and chocolate, right? If you're reactionary to that, get the fuck, right? Marijuana and chocolate, right? That's it. Marijuana and chocolate, right? Right? God invented countless weeds. That one is for you. This joint's for you, right? And you'll program your own amygdala to be non-reactionary. When somebody performs, acts out what a piece of shit they are, they're hoping that their pretense will convince you. They actually very often believe it must do, because they've seen it happen so many times with humans in the past. They're hoping to trade places with you. They're hoping transference takes place from their imaginary self-image into making you want to attack them, calculating that you'll not do so, and you'll do yourself damage there that will break you down. It'll take you a while to recover. So you've lost your smile, you're no longer capable of what you were doing, they've adversely affected your life, for which, no matter who they are, no matter where you are, no matter what you stand to lose, provide them with brutal, merciless physical consequence, regardless of their demographic or whatever is paedophile correct. You know, if they're black, white, female, you know, I would say over the age of 26 and under the age of 80. I'm prepared to knock fuck at you until you're dead. I mean, I'm prepared to knock fuck out of you until you're dead. You know, I don't give a fuck about you. Yeah, I'm a living Christ. You couldn't get more compassionate. Yeah. If you're a sex offender trying to cause me brain damage, I'm going to kick fuck at you until you're dead, you know. I don't give a fuck if it's been one day since it happened. You know, you might be slowing the uptake. I see it in real time now. And I'm telling you, they're ready for the ones that see it in real time as well, because then they can go to the next square on their Tommy Tippy fold-away polystyrene chessboard of then taking advantage of, for example, male chivalry. You know, always look for the Hun, right? So before you deck a bird, be sure, you know, there'll be a Hun who's 6'6", and you've got to contend with him next. But you could just say to him, "Ha, Hun, right, honey, right? She fucking hates men. She's a sex offender with tits." You know, like, there are countless sex offenders with tits. Predominantly, sex offenders have tits. See Erin Pizzy, right? For more detail. And so she wants to use you to attack me, to delude herself she's magically clever and goad me and get revenge on the men. She's a lunatic who's been ingrained pathologically by shite exactly like herself. So, do you really want me to knock fuck at you, right? Because that wee man-hating prick got consequence provided to her chicken brain. Okay? Yeah? If that doesn't work, don't kill him, just not fuck with him, you know. And, you know, basically because he might be too programmed to take all that in. But if you are watching, right, and I remember a guy saying to me once, "Erol, I've seen these two folk last night, right, and a couple, and the guy was knocking fuck at her, right, and I just fucking laughed and walked on." I genuinely thought he was quite a bad guy. And I said, "What did you do that for? You know, why didn't you go to raid with she?" He said, "Well, a few years ago, right, there's a guy in Lassie fighting,
It was almost identical scene, you know. It was not fuck at her. And I went over and went, oh you're a baddie, you know. The next thing she jumps on my back, she starts fucking punching fuck at us, and he starts punching fuck at us. I'm left on the ground bleeding, and they walked away together, holding hands, arm in arm.
Right. So he said basically he didn't bother, and I said, well, what happened? He said, well, before he got his taxi, they actually fucking, you know, she pursued him down the street, and eventually, you know, in the distance, they got back together again. Psychopaths get off on fighting. It's a form of sexual intercourse. When a male is all about fighting, very often they're a homosexual in denial about the fact that they're a homosexual. They're an aggressive homosexual who wants a physical outing of his carnal desires, a sweaty clinch with another man. No thanks.